What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button, because today we're talking about something absolutely insane that happened just a few days ago that literally broke the internet and the entire luxury fashion industry. I'm talking about BTSJimin causing an $8,700 Dior bag to completely sell out globally in just 6 hours. Yeah, you heard that right. 6 hours. Let me tell you this story because it's honestly wild. So picture this. It's February 2nd, 2026. It's early morning in Seoul, Korea. Like, we're talking 6 a.m. Most people are still asleep, right? But at Incheon International Airport, something is about to happen that's going to change the entire luxury retail game for the day. BTS is heading to Dubai, and the members are arriving at the airport. Now, if you know anything about K-pop, you know that airport fashion is a huge deal. Fans camp out with professional cameras. Fan sites are ready to capture every single moment. And these photos get distributed worldwide within literal minutes. At 6:47 a.m. Korean time, Jimin steps out of a black Kia Carnival. He's wearing this super casual fit, nothing too crazy. Black hoodie, fitted pants, nice sneakers. But here's the thing that caught everyone's attention. Hanging on his right shoulder is this Dior bag. Now before I continue, let me just say, this isn't just any Dior bag. This is a crossbody piece from their latest collection, monogram canvas with leather trim, and it retails for exactly $8,700. Almost $9,000 for a bag. Keep that number in mind because it's going to get crazy. Within minutes, and I mean minutes, the photos are everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Weibo in China, everywhere. Fan sites uploaded those high-resolution professional photos before Jimin even got through airport security. And immediately, people started identifying every single piece of his outfit. The hoodie, the pants, the sneakers, the jewelry, and of course, that Dior bag. Fashion accounts were tagging the exact model number. Korean shopping apps were sending push notifications to millions of users. The machine was in motion, and there was absolutely no stopping it. Now here's where it gets absolutely bonkers. By 8 a.m., just a little over an hour after those photos dropped, Dior's customer service lines in Seoul were completely jammed. Like, you couldn't get through. Their website traffic to that specific bag's product page had increased by 340%. 340%. Store managers in Paris, London, New York, LA, Tokyo, they're all getting calls about this one bag. Some stores hadn't even opened yet for the day. Personal shoppers who work with wealthy clients were frantically texting, trying to secure whatever stock was left. And get this, by noon that same day, every single unit of that bag in every Dior boutique across Asia, Europe, and North America was completely sold out. Gone. Vanished. 6 hours from the moment those airport photos hit the internet to complete global sellout of a bag that costs more than most people's monthly rent. Let that sink in for a second. Now you might be thinking, okay, but Jimin's a global ambassador for Dior, so this was probably planned, right? Wrong. This wasn't a campaign. This wasn't a scheduled post. This wasn't a sponsored activation. Jimin literally just carried the bag from his car to the airport terminal. He didn't post about it on Instagram. He didn't tag Dior. He didn't write any caption or film any unboxing video. He just used it because he probably liked it and needed something to carry his stuff. That's it. That's literally the entire story of how one man caused a global shopping frenzy before most Americans had even woken up. Let me break down what's happening here, because this is what we call the Jimin effect, and it's something that marketing professionals and business schools are literally studying. This isn't Jimin's first time causing massive sellouts. In January alone, he made a later hair oil sellout before it even officially launched. A black hoodie he wore in December sold out in 14 minutes across 3 continents. Even a specific shade of Dior lipstick he was rumored to wear caused websites to crash, and wait lists stretching into thousands of people. But an $8,700 bag selling out globally in 6 hours? That's a completely different level. That's not just influence anymore. That's legitimate economic power. What's fascinating about this from a psychology standpoint is who was buying this bag. It wasn't just hardcore BTS fans who've been following Jimin since 2013. According to social media analysis and interviews done after the sellout, the buyer demographic was shockingly broad. You had fashion collectors who wanted to own a piece of documented viral fashion history. You had luxury goods investors who understand that anything Jimin touches appreciates in value. You had people buying gifts for friends, family, partners who are fans. And yeah, you definitely had the resellers, the flippers, the people who see dollar signs in cultural moments. But here's the crazy part. There were people who had never even heard of BTS before that morning. They saw it trending on Twitter, clicked out of curiosity, saw this beautifully photographed guy carrying an elegant bag, read that it was selling out worldwide, and made a split-second decision to buy before it disappeared. That's the power of FOMO, fear of missing out, in the age of social media. When something is positioned as rare, exclusive, and disappearing by the second, human psychology goes into overdrive. We want what we can't have. We want what everyone else wants. We want to be part of a story. Now let's talk about what this means for Dior. On one hand, they just move hundreds of units of a high-margin product without spending a single dollar on traditional advertising. That's a marketing dream. But on the other hand, they now have a customer service nightmare. Angry emails from people who'd been planning to buy that bag for months. Accusations of artificial scarcity. Demands for restocks. Wait lists that are already thousands of names long. It's a double-edged sword. The resale market responded exactly how you'd expect. Within hours of a sellout, listings started popping up everywhere. Luxury consignment sites, auction platforms, even eBay. And the prices? $15,000 to $25,000. For a bag that retails at $8,700. Some sellers included screenshots of their purchase confirmations as proof. Others promised authentication services. Some people were even offering to source the bag through their connections for massive finder's fees. Pure capitalism playing out in real time. Let me show you some of the numbers from that day, because they're genuinely staggering. Jimin's name trended #1 on Twitter in 47 countries. The hashtag JiminAirport generated over 2.3 million tweets in just 24 hours. Instagram posts featuring him from that airport appearance got more than 18 million likes collectively. TikTok videos analyzing his outfit and talking about that Dior bag got over 85 million views in the first week. 85 million? These aren't just numbers on a screen. These represent millions of real people stopping their day to engage with content about one person's airport outfit. Now, I want to talk about the timing because it matters. BTS had just announced their comeback album Arirang dropping March 20th, with a massive world tour starting in April. We're talking 79 cities, 34 countries. The group had been on hiatus while members completed their military service, and the anticipation was absolutely insane. So Jimin's airport appearance wasn't just a regular commute. This was his first major public sighting in weeks. It was a signal to the world that BTS is back, that he's healthy and ready to perform again. In that context, everything about him became newsworthy. Every choice was scrutinized and celebrated. The bag was never just a bag. It was part of this larger narrative of return and renewal. Here's something interesting to think about. Traditional celebrity endorsements involve contracts, photo shoots, carefully coordinated campaigns. The celebrity poses with the product, says nice things, collects their paycheck, moves on. But what we're seeing with people like Jimin is completely different. It's more authentic, or at least it feels that way. He wasn't selling the bag. He was just using it. He chose it himself, presumably because he liked it. And that perceived authenticity makes all the difference. When you see a traditional ad, your brain knows you're being sold to. Your defenses go up. You question it. But when you see someone you admire just living their life and using a product naturally, something different happens. You think, if it's good enough for him, maybe it's good enough for me. You start imagining yourself with that product. You're not being sold to. You're being inspired. And inspiration is way more powerful than advertising could ever be. Fashion journalists were quick to jump on this. By 10 a.m., think pieces were already being written. The Jimin effect. How one man moves markets. BTS star proves celebrity influence knows no bounds. And these weren't just entertainment fluff pieces. They were appearing in Forbes, Business Insider, Vogue Business. Publications that take fashion commerce seriously as economic indicators. Because that's what this really is. It's about understanding where cultural power lives in 2026 and how it translates into economic action. Let me put this in perspective for the American audience watching. When those photos dropped at 6 a.m. Korean time, it was 10 p.m. the previous evening on the East Coast, 7 p.m. on the West Coast. Americans were scrolling through social media on a Sunday night, and suddenly this story is everywhere. Some people learned about Jimin for the first time. Fashion enthusiasts who've been eyeing that bag realized with horror that they'd missed their chance. And a lucky few who managed to order during that 6-hour window felt like they'd won the lottery. Now, we have to ask some uncomfortable questions here. Is it healthy that a single airport photo can cause thousands of people to spend $9,000 on something they might not have considered before? What does it say about our society that we assign such value to objects simply because someone famous used them? Are we celebrating personal style or participating in mass conformity disguised as aspiration? I don't have the answers, but these are worth thinking about. From a business perspective, this incident is going to be studied for years. It represents the perfect convergence of celebrity culture, social media dynamics, luxury fashion economics, and global fan communities into one explosive moment. Marketing professors are going to use this as a case study. Business analysts are going to reference it when talking about influencer ROI. Fashion brands are going to look at this and rethink their entire ambassador strategy. We're already seeing the industry evolve in response to these dynamics. Luxury brands are courting K-pop idols more aggressively because they understand that one candid photo can deliver more value than a multi-million-dollar ad campaign. They're developing special relationships with fan communities, creating exclusive experiences that acknowledge this passionate consumer base. The resale market is professionalizing, recognizing that celebrity-associated items are legitimate investment categories. Here's something else to consider. Jimin himself has talked in interviews about wanting his fashion choices to inspire people to develop their own style, not just copy his. He advocates for self-expression and confidence over blindly following trends. But here we are, watching his every move, turning his personal preferences into global shopping events. There's something both empowering and burdensome about that level of attention. Every decision becomes magnified. Picking a bag for a flight isn't just picking a bag anymore. It's a statement, an event, a catalyst for economic activity worldwide. Think about the different layers of people involved in this story. You've got Jimin, just trying to get to the airport for a flight. You've got the fan sites capturing every moment. You've got millions of fans worldwide seeing those photos within minutes. You've got fashion enthusiasts and collectors analyzing every detail. You've got Dior employees suddenly dealing with unprecedented demand. You've got store managers fielding calls. You've got resellers scrambling to flip inventory. You've got journalists writing articles. You've got social media users sharing and commenting. All of this happening simultaneously, all triggered by one person carrying one bag at 6 a.m. on a Tuesday. The speed of it all is what really gets me. In the past, celebrity influence took time to trickle down. A star would wear something at an event, magazines would cover it weeks later, people would eventually buy similar items. Now, it's instantaneous. Photos go live in seconds. Identification happens in minutes. Purchasing decisions happen in hours. The entire cycle from exposure to sellout compressed into a time frame that would have been unimaginable just 10 years ago. Social media has fundamentally changed how cultural influence works. Jimin has over 50 million followers across platforms, but the reach extends far beyond that through shares, reposts, news coverage, and viral spread. When something happens in Seoul at 6 a.m., people in New York, London, Sao Paulo, and Sydney know about it before their morning coffee. Geographic barriers don't exist anymore. Time zones barely matter. Cultural moments are global and immediate. Let's also talk about the community aspect of this. For BTS fans, buying what Jimin buys isn't just about the product itself. It's about feeling connected to him, to other fans, to this global community of millions who share similar interests and values. It's a way to participate in something bigger than yourself. When you wear or carry something Jimin chose, you're signaling membership in this community. You have something to talk about in group chats and fan forums. You're part of the shared experience. The parasocial relationship element is real too. Fans feel like they know Jimin personally despite never meeting him. They've watched hundreds of hours of content, followed his journey for years, celebrated his wins, and worried during challenges. So when he chooses something, they trust that choice implicitly. It's like getting a recommendation from a friend you deeply respect. except this friend has influenced the purchasing decisions of millions of people simultaneously. What's interesting is how this transcends typical fan demographics. Jimin's influence in fashion has earned him respect from industry insiders who initially dismissed K-pop as a teenage phenomenon. His Vogue Korea covers showed artistic sophistication that resonated with serious fashion critics. He appears at Dior shows, works with renowned photographers, consistently delivers looks that make seasoned editors take notice. He's not playing dress-up. He's participating in fashion as art, as expression, as cultural dialogue. Consumer behavior experts have identified several factors that make the Jimin effect so potent. There's the trust from parasocial relationships. There's the aspiration factor, wanting to embody the success and style he represents. There's the community signaling. There's the perceived authenticity of his choices. There's the scarcity and exclusivity when items sell out. All these psychological triggers, firing at once, create this perfect storm of consumer demand. Dior is probably having internal meetings right now about how to handle this. Do they restock and risk diluting exclusivity? Do they create a waiting list and manage demand over months? Do they release a special Jimin collaboration and make it official? These decisions involve balancing short-term profits against long-term brand positioning, satisfying customer demand against maintaining the luxury mystique that makes these products desirable in the first place. For those who managed to buy the bag during that 6-hour window, they're probably feeling pretty good right now. They own something that's already being called the accessory of 2026. They have a piece of documented fashion history. And if they ever want to sell, the resale value has already more than doubled. For those who missed out, there's disappointment, but also this weird participation in the story itself. Being part of the conversation, knowing you witnessed this moment, counts for something in internet culture. Looking forward, incidents like this are going to become more common, not less. As social media continues to dominate how we discover and consume culture, as K-pop's global influence keeps expanding, as luxury brands lean harder into influencer partnerships, we're going to see more of these instantaneous viral shopping moments. The question is whether brands can figure out how to capitalize on them without appearing opportunistic or killing the organic magic that makes them work. What happened at 6 a.m. on February 2nd at Incheon Airport is a perfect snapshot of where we are in 2026. Celebrity culture, social media, luxury fashion, global connectivity, fan communities, all colliding in real time to create economic impact at scales that would have seemed impossible before. 6 hours from photo to sellout, $9,000 bags flying off shelves worldwide, millions of people united in their awareness and reaction to one man's fashion choice. Now let me give you some extra context that makes this even more remarkable. Compare this to other celebrity endorsement deals. When a traditional Hollywood celebrity signs with a luxury brand, they might get a multi-million-dollar contract that includes photo shoots, appearances, social media obligations, and exclusive product lines. The brand invests heavily in production, media buys, and distribution. The ROI is calculated over quarters or even years. But with Jimin, Dior got this massive sales spike from a completely organic moment. No production costs, no media spending, just pure, authentic influence translating directly into purchases. Think about the ripple effects beyond just that one bag. Dior's stock price likely saw a bump from the positive press. Other luxury brands are probably reaching out to K-pop management companies right now, trying to secure similar partnerships. Fashion schools are updating their curriculum to include case studies on K-pop influence. Retail analytics companies are developing new metrics to track and predict these viral moments. This single incident is literally reshaping how the entire luxury industry thinks about celebrity partnerships and social media marketing. There's also the generational aspect to consider. The people buying this bag, following these trends, participating in this culture, they're largely Gen Z and younger millennials. This is a generation that values authenticity, community, and shared experiences over traditional status symbols. They don't just want luxury goods. They want luxury goods with meaning, with story, with connection. Jimin provides all of that. He's not just a face on an ad campaign. He's someone they've grown up with through social media, someone whose artistry they respect, someone who represents values they care about. And here's something that really blows my mind: the environmental and economic implications of this kind of consumer behavior. On one hand, you could argue it's wasteful, encouraging unnecessary consumption, contributing to fast fashion culture even in the luxury space. On the other hand, these are high-quality items that people genuinely want and will use for years. They're not disposable fast fashion pieces. They're investment pieces with real craftsmanship. The resale market for these items is robust, meaning they retain value and continue circulating rather than ending up in landfills. It's a complex issue without easy answers. What I find particularly fascinating is how this demonstrates the democratization of influence. 20 years ago, fashion trends were dictated by a small group of editors, designers, and celebrities operating within a closed system. Regular people had no voice, no agency. They could only consume what was marketed to them. Now, through social media, fans have direct access to their idols. They can see what these people genuinely use and like. They can participate in trends in real time. They have communities where they can discuss and share. The power dynamic has shifted, and brands are scrambling to adapt. That's not just influence. That's power. That's the future of how culture moves and markets respond. And Jimin just carried that future on his shoulder through an airport terminal, probably thinking about his flight and his schedule, making it look completely effortless the whole time. That's the wildest part. For him, it was just Tuesday morning. For the rest of the world, it was a masterclass in modern influence. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Is this level of influence amazing or concerning? Would you spend $8,700 on a bag Jimin wore? Have you experienced the Jimin effect with any purchases? Drop your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future content. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!